What is up, everybody? Welcome to this awesome live stream. I have got a guest with me today, so I'm super excited about that. Let me just switch this over. There we go. Super excited today. Welcome to this awesome live stream. I've got my first guest with me ever, so that's really exciting. All of you, I'm pretty sure all of you are going to recognize this awesome face, this handsome face that we got with us. We got Gonzo, and we're going to be talking a lot about exciting things that happen in the market today. Gonzo, first of all, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I feel a little honored that I am your first guest. That's awesome. Sorry for the late start, guys. We're trying to work out this kind of technical stuff that's going on in the background, but I think this is just the beginning of good things to come. So super excited, man. I'm super proud of you that you've been able to kind of start your own channel, and it's always cool at the beginning, right? Because we're kind of just testing things out and doing our thing. And the hope is that, more and more people will join and get educated and learn on the content that we're going to put out.
Yes, for sure. And I'm just participating in the chat here on Instagram real quick. I'm doing a test today. I went live on Instagram to see how it would look. And unfortunately, the aspect ratio does not look good, guys. So if you are on Instagram and you cannot see our faces, here's what you can do. Head over to YouTube and watch this stream live on YouTube or X. I'm going to put that link in the Instagram chat right now so that you guys could go check that out. But yeah, it looks like the formatting is pretty bad on Instagram, but we've got Abs on there. That's pretty cool. I'm your biggest fan. He says, Abs, come join us on YouTube if you want, brother. And then looks like we got a few other people. Yeah, if you guys want to see this in full screen, switch over to YouTube, and then I'll figure out how to fix this for next time over on Instagram. But yeah, so super excited because today the Clarity Act finally made a move. And that's what the title of today's stream is all about. We've been anticipating the Clarity Act for months now, and it looks like finally we got a step in the right direction. It's not, definitive yet, but at least we got a step in the right direction, right, Gonzo? So I'm going to just share my screen here real quick. But before we kind of go into it, Gonzo, what's your take? Were you able to watch any of the clips or potentially any of the live streaming that took place there and kind of the things that were being discussed?
Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of it and do a little bit of a research. But for me, it's just more of the entire circus that is the kind of political system that we have. Elizabeth Warren with her antics, all of the amendments she's put in. When you look at the original kind of language of what we were looking for the Clarity Act, it has changed dramatically, right? And there was even some stuff that they threw in there that had to do with housing. Housing has nothing to do with the regulations that we're looking for digital assets. So I'm optimistic. I always felt like we were going to get some version of it. Me and you have had these conversations in the past. I don't think it's going to change anything, right? We got a rally that occurred as we started to get information that it passed the banking Senate, the banking committee, right? Now it has to go to the Senate. So we got a nice little rally, but I was already expecting a rally because we got some divergences on smaller timeframes. But then all of a sudden that rally kind of stalled out. We're kind of coming down a little bit. And then people are kind of blaming it on, well, the reality of what's coming out and how much more work we need to do. It is what it is. But for me, it's always been like the next carrot that they're dangling in front of us, right? It's always something. I'm not saying that it's not positive for the market. I think we need this, but I don't think that it moves price action. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, well, if anything, we got to buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing, right? We knew that we were going to get this today. And so we saw the markets react positively. Even during the hearing today, we did see crypto kind of move up, and it was funny because people got excited. Merlin actually had a little bit of a brief time where it was having a hard time handling the traffic, because for the past few months we adjusted the devs adjusted it so that it could not necessarily have as much resources. Traffic was down tremendously over the last few months. So today we definitely saw an uptick, and as the crypto space was moving up, they were jumping into Merlin and they wanted to see what their portfolio was looking like. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It just shows that people's emotions, they get moved on the price action. And we saw that today with prices going up. But I think you're spot on, Gonzo. And what I have here is I have a few clips that I want to play for everyone from the hearing today. And I'm going to get us started with a clip from Senator Loomis, where she just expands on, you know, her position here with this bill and how important it is, and the fact that she says that this moment is going to go down in history. Let's take a listen.
I served 14 years in the Wyoming legislature, 8 years as state treasurer, and now 14 years in the Congress. This is by far the hardest piece of legislation I've ever worked on. And your colleague, Kirsten Gillibrand, said the same thing. And she has more experience than I do in the U.S. Senate. And it's because this is a case of first impression. This is a very new commodity and security. And it takes time to craft something to address the innovation that has been brought about through blockchain technology. And that's why it's taken such a bipartisan effort, heavy lift, lots of negotiations, involvement from those people who are in the industry. And it has morphed since we began this bill 5 years ago because the industry has matured over those years.
This is a pretty long video, about 3 minutes. This is about a minute of it. I think that's enough. It just basically outlines, you know, her vision for all this. And obviously she's one of the pros. She's one of the people that's sitting there that's advocating towards us finally getting legislature that's going to be positive for the space, Gonzo. But kind of what's your takeaway? Again, you said that you watched some of the clips, and I've got some interesting ones here to play in just a second from our friend Senator Warren. But what's kind of your take of some of the comments that were made, especially from Loomis, Senator Loomis?
You know, I think she's always been a champion for digital assets. And so it's good that we have her. I know that people in the digital asset space or even Bitcoiners have not always fell on the right side. They felt like she's kind of gone back and forth. But when you look and you compare her to somebody like Elizabeth Warren, I mean, it was funny because you were asking me about if I've seen any of the videos, but there was one video that I was watching and it kind of boiled my blood. And it was just so like, you want to just tell the whole world, this woman is a crook, right? Like if you look back at the platform that she ran on when she first got into the Senate and how anti-bank she was, and after the 2008 and how we bailed out the banks, right? And she was going to do this and she was going to do that, right? She should be the first one that stands in line about digital assets. But if you look at any legislation that she's like proposed or written recently, who's written it for her? The banks, right? She straight up betrayed the people that put her in power, right? And that's just my personal opinion, but she's owned by the banks. And that's why she pushes out the garbage and the narrative that she does, right? Yeah. And so it's very frustrating, but, you know, and you hope that people can see through it. But this thing has taken a really, really long time. And it's all because of people like Senator Elizabeth Warren.
$12 million she's worth. That's her net worth,
Yep.
$12 million. So she's
Imagine.
obviously got an agenda. And since you brought it up, you brought up the topic of Senator Warren. I want to play this clip, Gonzo, because I think that we're going to have a good laugh. Let's listen to this is just a glimpse of what she said. I was actually able to listen for probably about the last 30 to 40 minutes of the hearing. And I heard a lot of nonsense coming out of her mouth. I heard a lot of comments that were just like, man, what are you saying? This is obviously just a small clip, but probably one of the most impactful because she says some very, very serious thing. Let's take a listen.
It pushes more of the market into crypto and removes protections for investors and removes recourse for victims. That is the wrong direction to go in.
All right.
When this blows up at the economy, I hope everybody remembers it.
That's the reaction. What?
Yeah.
And then this one too. Oh boy. Gonzo, give me your reaction to that.
Yeah, you know, it's just more of the fear mongering. I saw another video. It's just some of the very old narratives and the things that they push out that, you know, this is for terrorists. This is for North Korea. She even brought up Tornado Cash without even understanding really the use case for Tornado Cash. Can people take technology and use it for nefarious and bad reasons? Absolutely. But that's not the majority. Because I felt like when she was bringing up Tornado Cash and she basically said, anyone that's using Tornado Cash is a criminal. So you're talking about regular Americans that want privacy, right? There's a reason why we use cash. Like, she's acting as every single American wants all of their financial business put out there, and anyone that wants privacy or wants anything that's hidden is a criminal. And that's just not true, right? That's not the main goal. And time again, they've had chain analytics, a lot of different people testify in front of the committees and in Congress, telling them that only 1% of digital asset transactions are nefarious. The number one asset used for nefarious reasons is what, Mario?
It is the US dollar, the shitcoin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The US dollar. I don't see her banning the US dollar or protesting Bank of America or Wells Fargo because somebody is going to the ATM to take out $40 in cash and then going out and buying drugs, right? So should we ban all of cash? Should we ban Bank of America and Wells Fargo because people that buy drugs use cash, people that buy pornography, child pornography use cash? So should we go and ban all of that? Because I don't see her saying that, but she focuses in on cryptocurrency or digital assets when we've already seen that it's less than 1% of the transactions are nefarious. There's no criminal that wants to use blockchain. It's out in the open, and once the government has that wallet address, they're going to freeze your assets.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. And she speaks from a perspective of obviously not really understanding the technology. That's number one. She speaks from a perspective where most people listening to her are probably going to believe what she says, and that's a big problem as well. But she did bring up a lot, like you're right. She brought up a lot the conversation of scammers and bad actors in the space. That's not a crypto problem. That is a people problem. Scammers exist in every single industry. They're trying everything they can in every single type of way. It's not a crypto issue. We do need rules of the road for the space, and I think that that's going to be a benefit more than not being a benefit. Her comment here towards the end, I want to play this one more time because the thing that she says right at the end, listen again.
For victims, that is the wrong direction to go in.
All right.
When this blows up with the economy, I hope everybody remembers it pushes more of.
When this blows up in the economy, I hope everybody remembers. Do we really think that us getting rules of the road for crypto is going to blow up the economy? Do you think that's going to happen, Gonzo?
No, not at all.
Right?
What's funny is like even earlier, so I've seen other sound bites where she took a different approach where she's like, I don't even understand why we need these rules. It's less than 1% of Americans that even care about digital assets. Why are we paying attention to this? And like, it's totally skewed when you look at like how many people are actually invested in cryptocurrency or digital assets. It's a pretty big number. It was enough to sway the last election, right? And then when they asked surveys about what people want the Clarity Act, what people want rules of the road, the number even jumps up even higher. I want to say it was like 40% of the people surveyed want rules of the road. They want some kind of Clarity Act that kind of gives exact definitions, because that's how you protect people. She acts like she wants to protect people, but by not passing the Clarity Act or not giving rules of the road, it allows this vague area or this gray area where there's going to be people that take advantage, right? Or there's going to be rug pulls and all the other stuff that happens.
Yeah, it's like what Ab said in the chat. I wish I could pull up the chat here on stream. I'm still trying to figure out this setup, guys. But Ab said, always presenting the problem without providing solutions. Yeah, that's what she does time and time again. She just keeps talking about all of these different issues, but she's not really providing a lot of value when it comes to putting together this legislation. All she does is just push back. Constantly pushing back. She's obviously serving an agenda. Like when we did Good Morning Crypto, we would talk about this all the time, that she's just always pushing her own agenda. And I outlined her net worth before, and there's a reason why she's got that net worth. And we know that it's not from a position that she holds. It's from the investments that she's able to make. So it's just very sad that this is happening. I just want to go over the chat a little bit, Gonzo. We've got Abs over on YouTube, and I'm still trying to figure out again this thing with the chat so that I could potentially pull in like everybody even from X. But Abs is over there. We've got Nick as well. There it is. Appreciate it. Did you hear that like racing sound at one point? Did you hear that?
I did when you were testing it out, the sound effects. Yeah.
So the racing sounds pretty cool. That plays automatically whenever I get a subscriber to the channel. So that was pretty cool. I think that was Joe. Let me go up. That was Joe. Yeah, Joe, thanks for the subscribe, man. I really appreciate it. We've got John in here. Great job, guys. Excited XRP investor. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm actually making a lot of cool changes to the XRP investor. I just did something really cool today, Gonzo. I want to tell you about this. So
Yeah.
I have an AI agent that I've been working on for a while, and I'm actually going to start doing a lot of AI content on the channel here as well. But I've been working on this AI agent for a while, and so what I wanted to do is just start taking a more of a proactive stance with delivering newsletters to everybody that's a part of the XRP investor. So today I had my AI agent through APIs generate the first newsletter that went out to everybody that's registered over at the XRP investor, where we talked about the Clarity Act that was going to take place today. We talked about some of the comments that Brad Garlinghouse has been making as far as everything that's taking place. So it's pretty cool to see that happen, and it's actually going to be happening moving forward in an automated way. So there's going to be a newsletter that's going to get generated every time there's some significant news for XRP in general. But I do have a lot of other stuff that's in the works for the XRP investor, so I'm super excited about it. And if anybody has not checked it out, the XRP Investor is a platform for XRP enthusiasts. It's where you can see all of the information about XRP, analytics, the latest news, you name it, everything in one place. And the reason why I talk about it is because I created it. I'm not sponsored by it. I am it, right?
My favorite part about that whole thing, though, is the XRP DCA calculator. Because we and you, we had the conversation before you created it, where we have all these DCA calculators for Bitcoin. And for me, it was very eye-opening that if you could just, and it's kind of more of your thesis in the way that you invest, that if you just dollar cost average over a long period of time, it always works out for you, right? Like I think about, and that's what, when we talked, I was like, you should create an XRP DCA calculator so we can show people, like, if they would have just started DCAing $50 a week, $100 a week back when to where we're at today, this is how much XRP you would have. And for me, I'm a very visual person. It was very eye-opening for me, right? Because I looked at it and I said, if I would have just started DCAing on a weekly basis since I got into crypto, I would have so much more XRP.
I know.
Right? I'd have so much more everything, right? And so there's something to be said about that. Now, I know I'm the trader of the group. I read charts, so I always try to kind of position myself in certain ways. But when you don't have that time to do that, I'm telling you guys, the best way to do it is just DCA long-term. It has to be long-term. You have to have that discipline. You can't do it for 7 months or 9 months and complain that, well, my average hasn't dropped or it's going high or whatever. You have to literally do it for years, right? And then when you look back, then you realize how much you've actually collected of the asset. It's mathematics, really, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm actually showing it on the screen now, Gonzo. I know you can't see it, but
I can't see it.
I'm showing the DCA calculator to everybody. So, for example, if you were to buy XRP weekly, $30 worth every week for the last 3 years, you would have accumulated 5,469 XRP at an average cost of 86 cents. So think about that. 3 years have gone by. Last year, we spent the majority of the year above $2. Okay, so you would have been buying every week $30 above $2, and you would be sitting at an 86-cent average cost XRP. That would be worth today $8,205. In profit, $3,495. That is the power of doing it consistently, as you just said, Gonzo. And you have to do it for a long period of time. So when people talk about, like, oh, what's the best way to buy? Do we try to time the bottom and all this stuff? You don't have to go crazy. Just keep it simple. Stick to a frequency. Like, I just switched this over to 5 years, Gonzo. It's insane, the difference. 69 cents average. And you would have accumulated 11,000 XRP. Just to put it into perspective, that puts you in a really high bracket as far as holders of XRP. 11,000 XRP accumulated over 5 years at $30 a week. I'm pretty sure that most of us, especially in America, I know that there's a lot of countries that unfortunately the economy is a little more difficult, but for those of us in America, we can figure out a way to have $30 to invest per week. We can cut some coffee here. We can cut some ordering food there. Appreciate the subscriber. There we go. That was Rockney. Appreciate that.
That's so cool.
You can figure out a way to, and if you guys are wondering why there's racing sounds, I'm into racing. Where is it? Right here. There's this little
F1.
There we go. Look at that Red Bull sitting right here on the shelf. And Abs was asking about the Bitcoin. So here's the
He
thing.
says you're in trouble, bro, because you ain't got no XRP symbol or
Here's
Ripple
the thing,
symbol.
though. I need somebody to make a model for the 3D printer that I have for XRP. I went on there. My first search was an XRP shelf decoration kind of thing, and I couldn't find anything. I could only find like little tiny coins that it can 3D print for XRP. So I did find this Bitcoin one, the other side, and it looked pretty cool. But I'm gonna try to make my own XRP little decoration to put in the shelf. But
It's just like the XRP DCA calculator. You're just gonna have to create it, bro.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, just the power of something so simple of just buying something consistently for a long period of time. And this doesn't even include, because one of the strategies that I think it's super powerful as well as your DCA that just happens on that particular day without you thinking about it. You could also be accumulating money on the side, and we're not financial advisors, guys, you know that. So you could be accumulating money on the side, so when the market takes a dip, right, the blood on the streets, like they say all the time, then you deploy that capital. That allows you to bring that dollar cost average down significantly, and it allows you to accumulate, and you do it for a long period of time, and you're just going to see the change. It's tremendous.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, there's a bull market somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And so while we've been like, yeah, Bitcoin's doing okay, XRP is doing okay, the regular markets have been booming, right? The S&P 500
all-time high,
continuously making all-time high.
Yeah.
The NASDAQ, bro. And I was like kind of looking at some of the TA and some of the groups that I'm in, and you know, there's a real possibility that we're kind of just getting started in those markets, bro. As crazy as that sounds, I had a $7,500 target on the S&P 500, and we hit that today. It was 75.13. I set that target a while ago, right after the correction. And in my head, when I was talking in the academy, I'm like, hey guys, this is a very high target. We'll see what happens. We hit that. I think it was either today or yesterday. And I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. This is bananas, right? When you look at high time frame momentum, like a stochastic RSI, like we literally have two big green candles on the monthly. Usually when the S&P goes on a run, you're talking about 7, 8, 9 months of monthly green candles to the upside. So look, I'm not a moon boy. We have to wait to see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if the regular markets just keep ripping to the upside. Now we have to hope that somehow that translates over into Bitcoin and the rest of the markets, because it's not a direct translation, but there's always money to be made somewhere.
Yeah, that's super, super true, Gonzo. And it's something that we outlined so many times. And it's funny how, like, this year, I think we lost Gonzo. It's funny how this year, let's see if we can get him back. Oh, there we go. You're back?
There you go. Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. Yeah, so I was just saying, Gonzo, yeah, it's true. And it's crazy how, like, this year we were all anticipating, we've been talking about a bear market, right? We've been talking about how, as far as crypto is concerned, we entered what looked like a bear market. And now the conversation is, well, is that kind of ruled out? And I know that you're going to be, you can show us some charts, right? So I think this might be a really good time potentially to get into that, so that you can talk a little bit about what you're seeing, because we've been talking about it in the community, right? The 3T Warrior Academy community. We're both coaches there, and so we've been talking in the community about how we're in a bear market. I know that you certainly have from a technical analysis perspective, but once Bitcoin made that top of 126,000 back in October, we started to create a structure of potentially going into a bear market. And I know that you did a call in the community at that point, where you're like, that's it, guys, that was the top, we're going into a bear market. And most people discarded, your
people
idea.
Looked at me like I was crazy. You should have seen, like, because like I could see people were commenting. They're like, what about clarity? What about this? What about that? And I was like, guys, look, this is what the structure is telling me. This looks like it's over with. Like, don't shoot the messenger. You guys make whatever decision you're making. I'm telling you, it looks like the top is in. And that's the way it played out, right? And that's the way it always is, right? At the top, people never believe you. And then at the other extreme, when we're at the bottom, people don't believe that the bottom is in. They always believe that we're going lower.
Yeah, so true. So Gonzo, while you get your screen share there situated for the charts, I'm just going to read a couple more comments. We had Canrum. Sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing Canrum. I appreciate the whole team's consistent effort to help everyone have a better understanding of crypto and just make the market as a whole. Appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. And thank you for being on the chat. It looks like Gonzo's having some technical difficulties again. Let's see if he comes back. We're both figuring this stuff out. We're using a different software. So for years, we used the particular software to do Good Morning Crypto, but I'm pretty techie, and there's this other software that's just, it's called Streamlabs. It's not a secret, but it's just a lot nicer to like have transitions and effects and things like that. So I want to test it out. And so, but it just has a couple of different things. It's not as easy to operate versus the one that we were using before. So let's see if we can get Gonzo back on so we can share his screen. There he is. Oh, and he's gone again. What's going on? All right, we'll see if we can get Gonzo back on because I know that he's got, he's going to have that technical analysis take on the market. And he keeps coming in and out for me. Let's see. Yeah, so he's got that technical analysis take on the market. And so for months now, we've been talking about, there we go. You back? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me. It's you. We can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Oh, no. So since October, we've been talking about this structure of building this structure for a bear market. And so we just had a move that a lot of people are saying, all right, that's it. Bull run's back on. And we're potentially headed to the upside again. And so I can't hear you. Yes, but everyone can hear you. Let me see. Hold on a second. Give me a second, guys. All right. Gonzo, can you hear now? No? Hello? Hello? No, he can't hear it. He can't hear us. So, bear market structure, right? That's the thing. It's that now we've had this move to the upside. And does that invalidate the fact that we could still be in a bear market? I think that's the biggest question that everybody's wondering. There's definitely a lot of theories on the fact that we could potentially be having a 2017 moment. I've seen that on X. People talking about how 2017 had this second bull run, and that's actually when I got into crypto. And they talk about how that potentially we're about to do that. I don't know. Like, I would love to get Gonzo's opinion on that. Trying to see if I can get him connected again. He can't seem to hear us, so I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get Gonzo back on the stream. This live. It is live. Live with Mickey. What's up, man? Welcome back. Yeah, this is live. We're just having trouble getting Gonzo back on the stream. Can you hear us?
Yeah. I hear you now. Like,
there
I don't
we
know
go.
if it's glitchy or what, dude.
Oh, man.
But I did hear what you were saying if you want me to answer before we lose the signal again. But
yeah.
For me, nothing has changed, right?
Okay.
There have been examples, whether you're looking at the stochastic RXI, which is the momentum for the people that know technical analysis, it is doing something different. Like if you look at like the 2-week stochastic RSI, anything above 20 is a confirmation that we're moving up. And so we did that. We're above 20 on the 2-week RSI. When have we done that before? We did it in 2014. And really, I simplified this for the people in the academy, and it's like this. It's cool and all that our momentum oscillators are going up.
Yep.
And they're breaking certain levels that we haven't seen before, but it's simple trend analysis. In order for us to go way higher, Bitcoin has to break 98K. If Bitcoin does not break 98K and rolls over and comes down, it is a failed rally.
There you
so
go.
Even if the momentum oscillators are pushing up and they're doing something different, if you cannot take out 98K, it's a failed rally. And the rules of trend analysis say if you have a failed rally and you can't make a new high, you're going to take out the low. And the low is 60K. So for me, that is my base case. That's how I'm playing it. I always show bull cases in the academy and other people that kind of have a very convincing thesis. And I always share that so people, they don't get an echo chamber of what I'm saying. They can see different opinions. But for me, until we break 98K and change the trend, we're still in a downtrend. This is a bear market rally. And then eventually we're going to break it. When can we break it? I'm looking at maybe May or June.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gonzo, do you still want to try to share your screen to see if we can get a little TA? Or is that kind of what caused the issue before?
I think that's what caused the issue before. As soon as
Okay.
I moved it over, it froze.
Okay.
I
All
think we
right.
should mess with it first before we freeze your channel.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll bring TA on the next live stream, guys.
Yeah.
But Gonzo just kind of broke it down, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If you're navigating a bear market for the first time, the thing that you hear is that, you know, bear market prices going down, 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 but there's people that there's opportunity to make money in a bear market, because much like in a bull run, it doesn't go up forever. You have moments in a bull run where there's corrections, and then eventually makes a higher low, and then eventually makes a higher high, and then higher low, higher high. So a bear market's the same thing. It's just going to make a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We're potentially seeing the formation of a lower high compared to what we had in the chart, and then eventually maybe a lower low. I know that's the kind of the big talk, and I know that you have a very strong opinion on what that lower low could be. Do you want to tell everyone, Gonzo?
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. What's funny? Here's a little like TA kind of fact.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time in a bull run, we are going down in price. This is why people get confused. So Bitcoin will break out, it'll expand, and then it'll spend most of the time trending down and making, like Mario was saying, lower highs, lower lows. And then suddenly it expands again, right? Yeah. In a bear market, it's the opposite. We spend most of the time actually going up in price. So it breaks down, big flush down.
Oh no, we lost Gonzo again. We got to figure this out for the next live stream if I'm going to have somebody join. Let's see. Gonzo, where you at? See if we can get Gonzo back on. He was on a good top. Are you back?
Yeah, you keep losing. Yeah.
What happens? Oh, he's gone again. That's so weird.
It keeps cutting out.
Why? What happens on your side?
I don't know, bro. I don't know if it's my
Okay, now I'm wondering if it's the software. I've never had a guest on, so for me, I don't know if it's the software. Yeah, he keeps dropping. Like I bring him on and he just collapses. Well, that sucks. Because I know that this is an interesting conversation, and this is a conversation that I wanted to have with Gonzo, because as he was saying, like the bear market, it can fool you. And right now, a lot of people are, let's see if we can get him back on. I can see you, Gonzo. I'm not, okay, let's see
now.
As soon as I
it
add
just
you.
keeps freezing and all kinds of craziness.
Oh, that's weird. I wonder if it has to do, yeah, we'll have to potentially have you try a different browser next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, while we have you, sorry, do you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, it was, like I said, in bear markets, price action spends most of the time going up, right? The way that markets are broken down is 70 to 80% ranging, and then that other 20 to 30%, it breaks out, right? And so to answer your question about the target, I made a bet with Shelly a very long time ago that we were going to go sub 40K. So I haven't changed from that.
Shoot.
Sub 40K is my target. Shelly thinks I'm wrong. She thinks we'll never break below 40K. And she's looking pretty good right now because we're at like 80 something. But I think eventually we're going to lose 40K. That's my prediction. So we'll see how that bet plays out.
I want to do a little thing because we have a couple of people here on the YouTube chat that I'm keeping an eye on. If you think we're going to go sub 40K, put a 1. If you don't think we're going to go sub 40K, put a 2. I want to see what the consensus is from the chat. Listen, anything
and that's
is possible.
Just basic like technical analysis of measuring the lows from the high, where we go into, I call it the super fib. It's basically between the 786 and 86 fib. Yeah. Every single bear market has gone down there. And then diminishing losses, right? In the first cycle, we went down like 98%, and then it went to like 93, and then it was in the 80s. I think last cycle, we went 78. So even if you pull back from the all-time high to 70%, which we've never done before, right? That puts you at 37K. And so you can tell that Bitcoin is losing the volatility to the upside. That's why we're not as extreme, but it's also losing the volatility to the downside. So we dropped 78% from top to bottom last cycle. So for me, 70%, 65% is very feasible. 65%, I lose the bet. 70%, it puts us at 37K and I win the bet.
Yeah. It looks like the consensus in the chat, so far, we've not had a single one. So people are saying no sub 40K.
Okay, we're going to see.
Yeah, we are going to see. That's going to be the interesting thing. We are going to get to see kind of what happens, for sure. And that's but it's kind of like it's almost the same, Gonzo, as when we're navigating the bull run, right? And people kind of have this optimistic view for potential price targets, but as we're going to the downside, we start to play the guessing game of what the bottom could be. And so anything can happen. Obviously, the one thing that we see time and time again is the news play a big part with it. So are we going to get some kind of crazy news that sends markets down? I think that would be potentially one of the main reasons why we would see price move. And like you said, like maybe the 38K is something that happens like a flash crash, right? We go down there, we touch it, that's it, filled it up. Now it goes back up, 40 high 40s,
Yeah.
50s, and recovers within the matter of a couple of days. So it doesn't mean that we're going to go there and stay there for a while. It means that there could potentially be something that takes us there for a brief moment of time.
No, absolutely. I think that's like the absolute low, extreme low. I've told people in the academy that the next major low that gets created by Bitcoin,
Yeah.
you want exposure to, it's going to be pretty close to the bottom. And it could be the bottom, right? Because what happened in the last cycle is when we had that big drop, I think it was after Terra Luna collapsed, when Celsius went bankrupt, 3 Hours Capital, all that, we dropped all the way to 17K. The eventual bottom was like 15.8, but that drop to 17K got us pretty close. And then we rallied for months. That low held for a while. And then what happened is FTX came out as a scam. And that was like the final punch in the gut. We flushed down 15.8. Remember, we
Yeah.
were buying and we were calling each other.
Oh, damn. Gonzo, hold on. I did something and I lost your audio, man. Can you? Yeah, I can't. I can't hear you. I'm wondering if it's hold on. Why did I touch this? Talk to me, Gonzo. Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know what I did. No. Hold on. Yeah, your audio's gone. That's so weird. Collab cam. All the audio's turned on. Try refreshing and come back. Sorry, Gonzo. This has been quite the challenge. Life with Mikey. I'm gonna ask Gonzo about that. About XRP. He does have an interesting take on XRP. Are you back? Shoot, I killed you. I'm sorry. I still can't hear you. I wonder if it's me. Let's see. This has been quite. I'm gonna go to the live stream to see if your audio comes through. Life with Mikey. I'm gonna ask Gonzo about that. About XRP. He does have an interesting take on XRP.
A little bit of delay here.
Are you back? No, we can't hear you on the live stream. Yeah, the racetrack sound. That was a subscriber. Thanks for the subscriber. Appreciate you. But we need Gonzo's audio. Why don't we have Gonzo's audio? Come on. Gonzo, talk to us here. Yeah, you're gone. So weird. Yeah, this thing is super glitchy. I gotta figure something better out. Let me see. Audio, everything is on. Collab cam. You're on. Well, that just became worse than before because we can't hear you. Your mic is here. And why can't we hear you? Yeah, I have no idea what you're saying, brother. Anyway, maybe we call it a wrap since we're having technical difficulties here with Gonzo. And it is already past 7:30 for me. So yeah, I do need to wrap it up either way. Gonzo, the last thing that I wanted to show everybody, and I'll show that and we'll end today's stream, is how the narratives continue to change. And right now we're seeing the clarity and regulation be a big narrative. But let's not forget that not too long ago, we had this is the video I want to watch. that I want to play for everybody. We had a narrative where most financial institutions, banks, so on and so forth, would not even entertain the conversation of crypto. They would talk bad about it. They would call it a pet rock. They would call it, fake currency, all of these different things. And we've seen such a massive shift already over the last few years. The haters became the biggest advocates. BlackRock became the biggest advocate. JP Morgan, who spoke so negatively about crypto for so long, is all over that technology now. So I've got this video from Eric Trump at Consensus 2026 where he outlined some of the stuff that was being said and what's happening now. Let's just hear this real quick.
JP Morgan was crapping all over Bitcoin 18 months ago, saying it was a joke asset. And it's really interesting. Now they're allowing people to take out home mortgages against their Bitcoin holdings at JP Morgan. This happened in a period of 18 months, my friends. JP Morgan was crapping.
18 months, Gonzo. And I wish we could hear your reaction to it, but 18 months, so much has changed. And so think about it. 18 months from now, we're about to potentially get the Clarity Act. I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing where we get the Clarity Act and boom, we're off to the races bull run. But it is going to set the foundation for institutions to now be more willing to participate in the space. They've been willing to do it for the last few months with no clarity. And just imagine what will happen going forward once we have clarity. So with that said, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. I forgot to say it. Abs did say it in the chat for me. Smash the like button. Smash it hard. Make sure you don't break your screen or your phone, but smash it hard. Hit the subscribe. Really appreciate you being with us today. I will be coming live a little bit more often, and I'm going to start making some other type of content. I got a lot of cool stuff in the works. I'll be bringing Gonzo on, potentially Abs and other people on too, but just appreciate everybody that was on live stream. We will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.